Here's a video that I hope help you make your own SVG type creations in Cricut Design Space. It really is easier than you think. Hello. I've seen that some of you people new to Cricut Design Space are paying for SVG files, or you're finding some free ones that you like to download because you want to make some really cute signs, or you want to put stuff on t-shirts or coffee mugs. Well, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but Cricut is quite capable of letting you design your own SVG type files or cut files to use. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and hopefully this will help you in creating your own cool little sayings or pictures or anything that you want to use. So maybe you can see right now in this upper corner, I found this little sign called "Happiness is a cup of coffee," and I'm a huge coffee fan, so that's something I wouldn't mind putting on a shirt or even a cup. But it would be easy enough, well, for me to recreate this in Cricut Design Space. I can get pretty close. I'm not going to probably get the exact duplicate, but you can get pretty close. And here's kind of one of the reasons why I tell you can do this is when you click on images, you have over 213,000 images that you have available for you to use in Cricut Design Space. So another thing that is also important is make sure you've got the right machine selected up here. I have a Maker. There are more images available to use on the Maker as opposed to even any of the Explore series or the Joy. So if you're using a Maker, you want to make sure you've got the right machine selected up here. So on this particular sign, I think the first thing I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to come up with this little banner here. And this is a kind of a pain in Cricut Design Space, is trying to search for something like that. You have to try to describe what it actually is, and that can be a problem. So I think it looks kind of like a ribbon banner, and that's what I'm gonna put in. So let's see what happens. Well, good. I only have 5,574 images to sort through, so chances are real good I'm not going to get through all of those. That one doesn't look too bad. Let's have kind of a scroll down some more. I actually have two screens that I work with, but it's hard to get both screens showing at the same time. So I have this up here as a reference to kind of look and see if that's what I want. No, probably not so much. That's kind of it. And here's another thing. If you see the banner that you like, but there's other stuff along with it, that's okay. There are ways to remove some of the other stuff. So I'm going to keep scrolling down here. That's not too bad. Keep looking. That one's pretty close, but let me see if I can find anything. Those are fine, but those are print and cut, so they're not going to work too well. I don't like those particularly. Aha, I do like this one right here. It looks pretty similar. So one thing I suggest is when you are searching is just click on every single thing you think you might use, because you can just get rid of the ones you don't want once you get to your Design Space canvas. And even down here, they're all listed down here, but if I see a couple that I think I really don't want, you can just run your mouse over and click the X and they're gone. But I'm going to go ahead and insert these on my Design Space, and let's have a look at them and see. So, wow, I'm not quite sure why this is so big. I think the Educator of Tiny Humans I'm going to get rid of, and I'm going to get rid of this one. So I can see my other one is somewhere. Good heavens. It's that one. There's that one. Okay, and that is at a crazy location, I think. So yeah, it's at a crazy location. So I'm going to put that at 1 and 1. And this is your XY axis. And I'm not going to go into all that detail right now as to what that means, but let's go ahead. This one to me looks the closest. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the other one. I think the alignment's okay. I could slightly turn it. This little arrow will turn your projects. If you're not aware, this is called a bounding box. This lock, if you click it, will allow you to make this really long or really wide, but no, I really don't want either one of those. So let's put it back to the original. So this is kind of black in here, and I'd like to see if I can make this part black. So down here is this little icon that's illuminated called contour or hide contour. What it does is it either lets you fill in spaces or remove spaces depending on what you want to do. So I want to get rid of the space that was there and it's now filled in. So I think that looks pretty good, and I'm going to just rotate you slightly. Okay, so that seemed like a lot of rigmarole, but as you get used to doing this sort of thing, I hope it will come easier to you. So next, I want to find a font for that, so I can put "is a cup" in there. So what you need to do is click on your text button, and you're going to get this extra toolbar. And you can see there are lots and lots and lots and lots of fonts in here. How many there are, I don't know, but there are a lot. And some of these are fonts that I've uploaded myself too. System fonts mean those are fonts that are in the computer. In other words, fonts I've uploaded or fonts that are in, say, Word or PowerPoint. Those are the system fonts. So I have this really great little website called wordmark.it. And instead of going through a gazillion fonts, this is going to help you, I think. So I'm going to bring this over here, and you can enter a word, and I think, what's my word again? I can never seem to remember. Is a cup. And then when you hit enter, it's going to show you all of your system fonts and what they look like with that phrase. So I can scroll through, and you know what? I found it pretty quickly that I like. It's called Amarillo. So I know that's a font that I have in my system because I uploaded it and it's a favorite, but it does happen to look pretty good. But what you can do in this Angelica, well, I'm terrible at saying. So this gives you an opportunity to see what all of your system fonts will look like. So I think I do, like I said, I like the Amarillo. So I'm going to put you back over here, and then I'm going to do a search for Amarillo and bring it up, and there it is. So I can click on that right there, and now I can type "is a cup." So it's pretty big, so I think I need to make it a bit smaller to fit in my little sign, but it's a straight line, and this is kind of a fun thing now that Cricut can do, is it can curve text for you. So let's put "is a cup" up there and hit the curve again and see how we probably need to rotate it. And let's see if the curve, there we go. We can kind of get that up a little bit. So let's curve it just a tiny bit more. And let's make it a little bit smaller. So you know what? I think I like that. I think it looks pretty good. So I'm going to select these two, and I'm going to group them together. Now, all that means is I've put these together in a group, and I can move them all over the place, and they are going to stay together, and they're going to stay in the exact same size that I have it here. So I like that. But right now, I think I'm going to try to find this little cup. So I'm going to click this little eyeball because it's for this group, and this is going to kind of hide it for a while, so I don't have to worry about trying to find a cup and while I have this other thing here. So let's go ahead and look in the images, and I'm going to put coffee. I'll be honest with you, I already designed this, so I kind of have idea where there are some things. And I like this little cup right here, and I'm going to put it in. So there we go. Now I'm going to put my is a cut back, and looking at my picture, I think I need to make this a little bit smaller. I think that looks about right. So what I'm going to do is group those, and I'd like them all to be black because that's the color I'm going to cut out. I think I would use this as vinyl on a shirt. So, and I said I was going to group them. So let's group it, and now I can move that over there, and I've got these all together. So in order to save time, I've already determined the font of these other things. And for happiness, it's a text called Bodini. Did I say that right? Okay, so Bodani MT. So let's do a search. And there it is. So I'm going to happiness. So this is awfully large, which is something that font seemed to come out with. So I'm going to change the width of that to about 6. And I'm trying to stretch this a little bit. So I'm going to kind of make it tall and skinny, just like that. And you need to unlock your lock. Let's put this guy right here. So at this point, I think we're going to want to curve that text again. So let's go ahead and curve our text some more. Okay. Now, to be honest with you, the curving of this text does not look like this. In order to get your picture to look exactly like this, you literally have to ungroup these letters and move them individually. That's a lot of work. I'm lazy. I'm just going to keep this as it is. So I'm going to group this again. Now I have that. So we just have 2 more things to do quickly, and I'm going to tell you that I decided that the word of was Dom casual. Let's do that. And we're going to select that, and I'm going to just do the words of, which are awfully big. So let's kind of try to put that right there where it says. And then again, I can group these together. And the reason I group things together, I'm going to change it all to the same color black. Here we go. The reason I group things together is if I have to move something out of the way, everything moves at the same time. So I don't have to worry about accidentally making something too big or too small. And our last font for the word coffee is one called Angelita. Sorry, let's find a look for that. Let's look for that. And this again is a font that I did download. So let's just do, and you know, I think that looks pretty close. This has some nice little curly cues on that the other one doesn't, but come on, Design Space, come on. There we go. This is kind of a frustration I sometimes have with Design Space. So actually you kind of there. We might need to ungroup because I would like to move some stuff. I'd like to move my of a little bit. And this, do we need to make it a little bigger? Okay, I can center it a little more. Anyway, at this point, with the fact that it's going to take a lot more time, let's select all. I'm going to make it all black. And now I'd be ready to make it. So I just want to show you 1 or 2 other quick things before we go. When you click make it, and I hope you think this looks pretty close to this. I think some of the proportions are a little off, but those are easy to adjust, which you could do. So when we go to make it, we kind of have this mishmashy thing here, and you're like, what is that? It's not the way I want it because I want it to cut out the way it looks. This is something that a lot of people, when they first start out, get a little concerned about. So let's select all, and now you can either attach or weld. Me, I'm going to weld this together, and I'll tell you why. Because when you attach, it's going to cut each and every letter out individually. When you weld, it's going to take, like the word coffee, that's going to be one cut. The word cup will be one cut. So you don't have each letter printed in cut individually, which can make it a little bit harder when you're trying to transfer vinyl or anything like, or even paper. So you weld it. Now, a couple things about welding. If I decide to save this, I cannot unweld it. It's done. If you still haven't saved your project and you really don't want to weld it, you can click your undo. And now you can see I have unwelded it because on my layers panel, I have all the little pieces here individually, but I do want to weld it. But if you attach something together, and there are times when you want to attach as opposed to weld, when you bring that project back up because you want to work on it again or you want to add something to it, you can detach. So that if you attach, it's not forever, but weld is there forever once you save it. So I hope this helps you. I hope it will help you use Design Space more to learn how to design. There is a learning curve. It does take a little bit of time to learn it, but experiment, try, do your best, and most of all, have fun. So thank you so much for watching. Okay, so I forgot to show you what the cutting mat actually looks like when you go to cut it because I'm talking too much. So this is it. Again, thanks for watching.